Hi, Grandma Debbie here. So a couple weeks ago, I showed you how to make freezer bread. I did 2 loaves of bread and some rolls. And I did the rolls and I attached that video to the freezer bread, how to make the freezer bread. But now I'm going to show you what to do with the 2 loaves that I made. The first loaf I'm going to make is going to be an actually white bread. And the other one is going to be a cinnamon swirl loaf of bread. And I'm thinking that the cinnamon swirl loaf will be delicious to make some French toast with. Who doesn't like some cinnamon in with your French toast? So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to get started on doing this. And it's a quick and simple, easy way to do things. You know, the one nice thing about this freezer loaf bread is that you make it ahead of time. You can actually do all of it into 3 loaves or all of it into rolls. Did I say 3 rolls or did I say 3 loaves? I don't know. But you can do 3 loaves of bread, or you can do all of it into rolls, dinner rolls. So it's completely up to you as to how you want to do that. But it's super simple. You make it ahead of time, plop it in the freezer. Then when you're ready to cook it or bake it, you get it out and you let it rise. And next thing you know, you're popping it in the oven and you've got some homemade bread or rolls, whichever one you want. All right, so today we're going to get started on it, and I want you to come along with me. And first thing we're going to do is I just got it out of the freezer, so it has to thaw. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do for that. Okay, so for the white bread, I've got my bread pan, my loaf pan, and I'm just going to spray it with some cooking spray. Simple. Then I'm going to take the freezer, the bread out of the freezer loaf, and I'm just going to plop it in here. And now it's got to thaw, and it's going to take some time to thaw, but that's okay. So we're just going to leave it sitting off to the side. And then I'm going to get started on the cinnamon bread. So I've got my mat, because I'm going to do it on a mat. So I've got that. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on here, not a whole lot, just kind of dust it a little bit. Then I'm going to take my other loaf out. And I'm just going to plop it down. And that's all I'm going to do. And now I'm just going to let them, both of the loaves, sit here until they thaw out. And then we'll go on to the next step. And I will bring you back for that. All right? But this is what it looks like so far. Oops. Guys, I'm just a mess today. So, as you can see, I've got my bread. Okay, so I'm back, and this is thawed out. I've got some, I'm going to spread out my flour a little bit on my workstation here, and we're going to get to rolling this. It's still a little chilly, but that's okay. The other bread is rising. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just doing great. It's thawed out. I've kind of moved it around a little bit. It's still a little cold, so it's going to take some time, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're rolling this out to 15 by 7. Now I'm using cinnamon and sugar, but I would imagine that if you don't want to use, and I'm cinnamon and white sugar, I would imagine, though, that if you wanted to, you could probably get away with using brown sugar if you wanted to. And this, for whatever reason, has a mind of its own, and it is spreading out, or it keeps moving. Did you see that? It keeps moving around. How funny. I need to put a little more muscle into this. get this bad boy out here. It is not wanting to, it keeps moving. I guess it's the silicone mat that's doing it. Okay, we've got the length. We just now need to get it spread out. All right. Well, it's not really a rectangle, but that's okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do, and this is a weird part, is we're going to spread water all over this. We're just going to brush it on. So I really think this is going to be great as either just eating it, making toast, or I'm thinking making French toast with it too. That'll be good. What do you guys think? What would you do with it? Okay, now we've got that done. And now we're going to spread it with cinnamon sugar. Now, we keep a tub of it, of cinnamon sugar already, because we use a lot of it, especially around Christmas time. But if you don't have it, then just make it up real quick. But yeah, so I'm not measuring it. I'm just going to spread it out. And try to get it as close to the edges as I possibly can. All right, looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to roll it. I might move some of the stuff out of the way. Man, I'm making a huge mess here. All right, so I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit so I can roll it easier. We're going to start at the short end, or the smaller end, and we're just going to roll it up. Into a log. So we got our log, and I'm just going to kind of press it together. All right, got that done. I got my bread pan, and I'm just going to lightly grease my bread pan. And then we're going to put this into the bread pan. And we're going to let it sit until it doubles. So it's going to sit for about an hour or two. It depends on how fast it doubles. My house is a little chilly today, so I think that's why this one isn't rising as fast, but that's okay. It will get there. All right, so I will bring you back when it's time to bake, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the cinnamon loaf is ready to go into the oven. So I'm preheating my oven to 375. The loaf of bread has not risen enough. It was colder apparently than the cinnamon bread. So I'm going to bake the cinnamon bread for 35 minutes, and I'm going to hopefully warm this up a little bit more so it rises a little bit more, and then we will bake that one. All right, so I'll bring you back when the cinnamon bread is done. Okay, so I got out the cinnamon loaf, and the bread, I put it in the oven. We're going to get this onto a cooling rack to cool off. Let's see if I can just dump it. Maybe not. I think I left it sitting for too long in the pan. All right, so this is just going to sit here and cool off, and I will bring you back when the other bread is completed. As you can tell, the cinnamon oozed out. So that happens. All right, I'll bring you back in a few. Okay, so the loaf of bread is completed, and the way you can tell that it's done is you tap it and it sounds hollow. Do you hear that? It didn't rise as much as I had hoped. My kitchen's been really cold today, and I tried to find a sunny spot to put it in, but we have a cloudy day, so there wasn't very many options. But still, it turned out great. I'm looking forward to enjoying some of it. So, like I said, I think it turned out fine. It's not as big as what I had hoped, or not as big as what I've made in the past. But that's okay, you know, things happen. So, as I mentioned with the cinnamon loaf, you could actually change it up. I mean, a recipe is just a guide, make it your own. So you could use brown sugar if you would rather. You could even put some nuts in there if you wanted to, and make it a little different. You could probably get away with putting some raisins in there or something else. It's completely up to you. So I'm also on top, if you wanted to, you could make a glaze and glaze it. I'm choosing not to because I'm planning on using the bread for something else that, you know, like French toast, and I wouldn't want glaze on it. Also, if I toast it up in the toaster, I don't want glaze on it because then it's just going to get icky and messy and whatever else. So whatever. But this bread recipe is really simple. What I've done in the past with the freezer bread is years ago, I used to get together with a group of ladies and we would have brunch at somebody's house. And whenever it was my turn to host, I would take this bread recipe and make up a ton of the muffin or the rolls. And then I would do 3, I would make them really small, and I would do 3 in a muffin tin and let them rise and then bake them. And you had little clover rolls, and they were delicious. And they always went over really well. And I would make tons of them and have it with our brunch. And and I didn't usually I would do the bread once in a while, but I mainly stuck to the rolls. So, and then when I got a bread maker, I really truly stopped making bread at that point unless I was making banana bread or something like that. I stopped making it by scratch. And I wish I wouldn't have, because I just love making bread. I love kneading it. I love all of that. It just is so comforting. It's so relaxing to me, and it just fills me with joy. And when you're smelling the bread cooking, it is delicious. And, you know, especially on a cold day, you know, you want something hot and hearty, and homemade bread just seems to do that. But like I said, when I got a bread maker, I just pretty much stopped doing it. I just started making it in the bread maker, and it does that just fine. But I'm trying to get back into doing things from scratch where I do it instead of the bread maker. Am I going to not use my bread maker anymore? Absolutely not. I'm still going to continue to use it. I'm just going to pick and choose when I'm going to use it. So I hope you try this recipe. Also, I think that the cinnamon loaf did make a great gift. Put some glaze on it. If you want, change it up. Make it a variety. Do brown sugar with nuts. Do the cinnamon sugar and add some raisins or dried fruit of some sort. But it would make a great gift for the holidays. You could even take it and just wrap it up the way it is. Do the cinnamon loaf, put a glaze on top or not, and give it to them that way. But it would make a great gift. All right, so I hope that you're having an amazing day and everything's going really good for you. Hit that like, hit the share, and hit the subscribe button. And I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.